All right, YouTube, hello. I'm coming out the front door of our house here. It's about 92, 93 degrees here. It's warm. But the purpose of this video is not me complaining about the heat. The purpose of this video is my truck. A 2010 GMC Sierra 1500 with a V8 engine. Now right now, you look at it from out here, it looks great, and it is. It's a great truck. I love it. You can see it backed into something. I banged all the dents out and put things back together. But you start looking under here, and there's some body rust to it. And right now there's a strong leak from the fuel pump. It's either that a port has rotted off the side and a hose has rotted off the side, or that the fuel pump itself needs to be replaced. I need to access that. And now there's two ways to do that. As you can see, the fuel filler is here, and that's the fuel filler neck that I replaced, and now the fuel pump is gone. So there's two ways to do this. The gas tank can either come down from under the bottom, which invites a whole host of problems because, as I said, there's a ton of rust under there. Or the bed can come up, which also invites a whole ton of problems, especially when you look at these here. That was my knee. These here are the bolts that secure the bed, and there's only 4 of them. There's one on the opposite side, and then there's 2 underneath there. And now, I'm gonna go in the shade. Now, what I would have to do is remove the 2 front bolts and loosen the 2 back bolts, and then pivot this bed up, giving me access in here to get to the fuel pump and the fuel, because the fuel pump is on top of the fuel tank. So the bed either has to come up or the fuel tank has to come down. And there have been a couple of short-lived ideas to cut a hole in the bed as a hatch right under there. Obviously, we'd have to remove this. When I jack the bed up, I'm going to have to take this off. I'm going to have to empty it because there's all the stuff that I build tool sheds with in there. I'll have to take this off. I'll have to take the headache rack off. And then I'll have to jack this thing up, which is, it'll be a process. I mean, it's not going to be something that is quick or really easy, but it's better than having somebody else do it and charge me all sorts of money. So my plan is that I'm going to attack it what appears to be the simplest way and the easiest way to fix if something goes wrong. And what I mean by that is there's a ton of rust under there. I mean, there's enough rust under there that I don't want a mechanic doing it because, oh, well, we got to replace this, and oh, well, we got to, yeah, I know. It's a 10-year-old truck that I own outright. It doesn't owe me anything. I'm going to use it until I can't, and that's going to be me taking care of it. So it's going to be me maintaining it mechanically. It's going to be me doing all of the work on it is what I'm saying. So what I'm going to do is remove those bolts, loosen those bolts in the back, and pivot this up. Now, yes, with all of that rust, that is inviting a whole nother host of problems. My plan, if I can't physically reattach the bed due to too many things being rotted out and too much body rust, is that the entire bed, this bed, the blue bed, I'm going to take the whole thing off. And I'm basically going to build a flatbed on there, make it wide enough that I can put cabinets on like the sides of the flatbed. This is hard to describe, but this would be flat. This would be a flatbed. And I'd build cabinets onto either side. I'd build some sort of system to hold that up because that's very useful to me. and the cabinets on the side I would use to hold more. Now what I would want to do is make it so that the cabinets are far enough apart that I can fit sheet goods in here, like plywood, smart siding, the things that we're going to be using to build tool sheds. Now I've even toyed with the idea of somehow putting a little Harbor Freight crane on here with a winch if it comes to that, but I'm hoping it doesn't. That's the backup plan for right now, because I'm a realist. I know this thing has 10 years of New England winters. It has almost 120,000 miles on it. That's asking a lot of that bed to pivot up and pivot back down after being backed into a telephone pole and having all that rust under there. It might be too much for the truck. It might be too much for the bed. And if that's the case, we are going to turn this into the Shedmobile. I'm going to just build it. I'm going to build a back end on it out of wood and probably some 5/16 1/4-inch, the steel piping, put back racks, put ladder racks, a system to carry ladders on there, and it'll be a redneck looking thing, but it'll be exactly what I need it to be, and it'll do exactly what I need it to do. Not that this doesn't. This has been a very good truck. I bought this truck right after my first marriage disintegrated. I needed a vehicle because the Jeep I was driving around in was just, I needed a new one. Couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't going to last anymore. So I went and I bought this, and I love this truck. I hope that I can keep the bed on it. I hope that I can keep it in its current form. But if not, and I do have to put a flatbed on there, I'm blessed in that I've learned over the past few years how to use tools and how to put things together and how to make them structurally sound and do what I need them to. It's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to win any beauty contests, but the issues that I'm going to run into with it are obviously tail lights. These are probably going to have to come off, and I'm going to have to put trailer tail lights. The bumper is probably not going to be a problem. Any kind of towing might be an issue because I might extend it a couple of feet. Obviously, that's a spare tire. We do need to get a new tire for that. But the only other issue would be this, the fuel filler, the entire fuel filler assembly. So what I would probably do is route this some way up into the flatbed, maybe cut the filler hose and have the neck go back further. It wouldn't be an issue, but it's one of those things that needs to be taken into account. And obviously right now I can't make any of those decisions because I need to get in there, I need to get under there. The short-lived plan to grind a hole into the bed in that region there to access the fuel pump. It sounds dangerous, and it is. This bed liner, I'm sure you don't want to be breathing that in if you're cutting it with a cutting disc and that kind of stuff. Yes, it's going to throw sparks. There are a few ideas from a friend of mine and I brainstorming, a couple of friends and I brainstorming. The best one that we came up with was jam a bunch of wet towels in there and hope for the best with a bunch of fire extinguishers. I don't know, that's not really something I wanted to put my money on, so the next best plan is the jacking up of the bed. And like I said, if it works and it goes well and I don't need to turn this into a flatbed, I will be very happy about that. If I do need to turn it into a flatbed, I mean, it's a good truck. It does a lot. It does what I ask it to. I've gotten all the material for a 10 by 12 shed in the back of this. All the, I mean, it stuck out like it. I had to have flags on it and stuff. But it's a good truck, and if I have to do that, I have to do that. So because nothing ever happens in a vacuum at all. Nothing ever happens in a vacuum. My wife's car, honestly, a car that I have not liked since we got it. You can see she hit something bumped her, or she bumped something there. This back wheel, probably about 3 months ago, was grinding and grinding and grinding, and I got down in there, and the other side was fine. Like, the other side wasn't even touched. So I'm thinking, oh, I know what this is, a caliper hung up. So I got in there, I got this jacked up. I forgot to chock the wheels, and I was sitting there working on it, and whoop, it went down right in front of me, and it that scared me quite a bit. So now, in the garage over there, it's not open, but I'd show you. All over, all of the area around the box where I keep all my mechanics equipment, there's in like magic marker, it says chalk all wheels with bricks, and there's a big stack of bricks because I need to see it or I'll forget. But anyway, back to this. The caliper was hanging up, so I got in there, I jacked it up, forgot to do the thing, but that didn't happen until later. I got it jacked up, got the wheel off, got in there, took the caliper apart, greased the whole thing up, filed out all the little channels, put in all new hardware, all new pins. Oh, that was cool. Nice old Corvette. But yeah, I got in there, I did all that, and we got another 3 months out of it, and it just started grinding again. So I got in there the other day, and I cleaned everything out with brake clean, and it's intermittent. So I know the caliper's hanging up again. I ordered the caliper from O'Reilly's. I got to go pick it up. We did just get the little black dog, Greta. We got her spayed 2 days ago, and she's having a little bit of a rough recovery from that. So I haven't really been doing much. I got to make a couple of Adirondack chairs, 4 of them actually, and I might have another picnic table order coming in. So I'm hoping none of them want deliveries. I mean, I can throw the materials on the top of that. It's not ideal, but I can't deliver anything right now. We've been using my pastor's truck here and there, and that's worked out nice, and it's been a blessing, but I can't keep asking them to do that. I gotta get this thing opened up and taken apart, but my plan is I'm gonna oil the bolts, keep spraying liquid wrench on those bolts that I showed you, and the ones that are in the back that you didn't get to see. I'm gonna keep spraying liquid wrench on that. When I do, I take a hammer and I tap on it, really let it work in. I'm gonna do that for 2 or 3 days, because honestly, I don't even know how long it's gonna take to get the fuel pump. So the first project is gonna be letting the heat break, and then I'm gonna do my wife's brakes. And at some point, we'll get the bed jacked up and find out exactly what we got to do. And if we got to build a flatbed, well, then we're going to have our first series. So I hope wherever you are that you're comfortable, that it's not as hot as it is here, and if it is, you have air conditioning. I'm going to go back into mine. I hope you're comfortable, and I hope that God is with you. Thank you for watching.